Hey Nesters, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to Goodwill to thrift shop, so I thought I'd take you along with me and let's go ahead and see what they have today. One thing I really enjoy picking up is anything to do with the United States and, especially like the souvenir items like this, but it's an ashtray and I don't resell those, so I put that back down. It was a pretty nice one though. I thought this wheelbarrow was quite adorable. Now, I've seen some people use these in a way where it looks like a spilled garden. So you would put flowers on, in the bucket itself, and then you tilt it just enough so the flowers actually go into the ground, right? And I've seen them done in white flowers in particular, and they call them spilled milk gardens. I think they look pretty nice. I really like the looks of these vintage Trivets. They are from around 1983 and they come in several different designs. They had a few of them here today. They probably sell for around $10 a piece depending on the subject matter, but I thought these were pretty nice and they were only marked $3 a piece. So I have a question. I'm curious if any of you guys decorate with Americana style items like this. In my first apartment, actually, that was my main decor choice. I had a lot of red, white, and blue flags and just various things to do with the United States and very Americana-esque. So yeah, I'm just curious if any of you guys decorate like that. Now, I thought this bowl was very interesting. It has the really nice patina on it from the silver, and then it has this really beautiful royal blue color on the inside. I was kind of confused by it because I've never seen anything like that before. These lamps here caught my eye, but they wanted $15 a piece for them. I wasn't quite sure I wanted to pay that much for them, but they were really pretty. And had they had the lamp shades with them, I might have done the 15. Now this is something I've actually seen done before, where someone finds a really beautiful fabric and then they just frame it. I think it is a wonderful idea. It makes for a really nice art piece. I was pondering getting this, and I was pretty sure I was going to get it until I saw this giant chunk broken out of the plastic frame, so that was unfortunate. I found this really interesting planter up here, and the inside of it is not overly deep, so I'm just trying to think what kind of plant wouldn't need too much room for roots to grow. Let me know below if you guys have any ideas. I thought this was quite lovely here. It is a nice little, I want to call it a lemon server perhaps, and it is made in Italy, I guess. It almost looks handwritten on there, so I'm not sure, how true that is, but they were asking $8 for it, and, for resale purposes, I figured that maybe wasn't a great enough price for me. And then they had this little Garfield here for $2. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a darn. You gotta love Garfield, right? And Garfield stuff is actually kind of a hot ticket in my area. A lot of people like to pick that up in the antique booth. What do you guys think of these large ceramic pieces to use for wall decor? I always really am attracted to them, but I'm not sure how many people actually want to put these things on their wall, so I'd be interested to know your guys' opinion on those. Life is just a tea party, don't we wish? I wish life was that easy. I spied these Lobster Coasters in the back there, and they were asking $6 for them. I thought that was a little bit pricey for the thrift store, but they were kind of nice. If I wanted them for myself, I probably would have went ahead and grabbed them. I I knew what this was right away. I used to be a Scentsy consultant, and that is actually the cherry blossom warmer. I actually have that warmer. Used to be one of my favorites. But yeah, I used to sell Scentsy before I had children for a few years, and it was fun until they started adding too many products, and it just got a little overwhelming, so I started the reselling gig. I thought this was really nice. I don't come across a lot of vintage Thanksgiving decor, so this actually was a really nice piece. It was rather heavy, and I'm actually surprised that there was never any chips or anything on it since it was likely hung on a door somewhere. So I spied another one of these. I picked up this probably 2 or 3 months ago. I had no idea what it was. Y'all let me know that it is something you guys used to make in ceramic class back in the 70s or 80s. And it's actually to set your eyeglasses on. It's a little eyeglass holder. Super cute. This bowl was absolutely beautiful. It had an amazing design to it. I had no idea what it was. I was very tempted to get it, however, and yeah, it was just a really nice piece. I kind of wish I got it. Y'all know I'm a sucker for bird figurines. It takes so long to look little figurines like this over with for chips and whatnot. I think there were a couple small ones on it, but if I keep things for myself, usually it doesn't bother me if it's chipped a little bit. And if it's chipped in a place where you're not going to see it really, if it's on a shelf, will likely pick it up for resale sometimes if it's, I think it's worth it. I come across this pressed flowers and butterfly taxidermy art stuff quite often. I really enjoy it myself, and I thought this was a really nice piece. They were only asking $1 for it. So like I said, vintage Thanksgiving items are pretty rare to come across. This one is put out by Napka Wear. I was really happy when I saw this piece. It's a cute little pilgrim girl, and initially I thought it was just the one, but you guys can see over there on the side that she has a little boyfriend, right? I didn't see him at first, and I was, thinking about getting her, and I, decided I would go ahead and get her. And then I kept looking around a little bit, and you guys can see how quickly I discovered him here in a second. I was like, whoa, wait a second. Then, of course, I started looking at the price. They had $6 a piece on them, which is a bit crazy for a thrift store, so $12 for the set. So I had to think about that one. There seem to be a lot of fall items here today, so people must be doing away with a lot of their fall and winter stuff during their spring cleanup would be my guess. But I don't mind, it's a good time to pick up items in the off season. How gorgeous is this cornucopia? I absolutely thought this was stunning. I don't decorate with cornucopias personally, but I definitely think anyone that does would have really enjoyed that piece. These little vintage month angels from Japan actually do sell for a decent amount of money. You can get between $20 and $30 for them usually, depending on, what they are. People like these quite a bit, so definitely a no-brainer to grab those. I was a bit confused by this angel here. It had a vintage look to it, but it felt very, modern, right? It has a very light feel to it, so I was trying to peel the tag back a little bit to see if there was any kind of labeling on it, maybe some made in China or something, but I wasn't quite sure what the date for this was. So I seem to come across this Avon stuff often. This is a nice white milk glass jar, probably originally for powder, and they had $8 on it. That's about what you would get for resale value. You sell it between 8 and 10. So yeah, definitely couldn't do anything with that. I thought this bell was really precious. Ultimately, it ended up having a couple chips on it, so I did not get it. I don't typically pick up bells, but I was tempted with this one. It had a really adorable face. The gardener in me absolutely loved these vegetable wall art pieces here. They say they were made in Brazil. This Alaska tree is something I probably would have got, but it was pretty scratched up. So even for $1, I decided not to get that. One thing that I struggle with is whether or not to pick up single glasses. Now, when they're vintage and in great condition, I just feel like I should always pick them up because people likely break them, right, and need a replacement. So if I can find a great deal on them, I usually do pick them up. I did find another month angel, but her flowers were unfortunately all chipped up, so I had to leave her behind. Just wouldn't have sold that well, as damaged as it was. It's always amazing to me how many vintage knickknacks there really are. People really decked out their houses with these things back in the day. But look at this girl's head. She was glued back on there. And I didn't really think she was particularly that nice of a piece anyway, so I wasn't that worried about leaving her behind. Check this thing out. How crazy cool is this? Or is it crazy creepy? And look at the backside. Too funny. Now, I was considering getting this for the booth, but his ear was chipped off, so I left him behind, but super cool piece, very unique. I've never seen anything like that before. So this globe was laying on its side because it was actually a bit broken. It wiggles there in the middle on the plastic thing, so I did pick this up because I don't have one in white yet, and I'm hoping I can fix it. If you would like to see part 2 to this shop along with me, make sure you're subscribed. I will be posting it tomorrow, and thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye!